Let's go!
I was checking out the scouting report, and I don't see nothing but bums. You and your whole entire world know that I am the one. You and your squad ain't got nothing for me.
Hey.
Your organization is looking stressed.
What?
And now that you haters is running from me, I know that you see that I'm highly blessed.
Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Yeah, we live with your boy Coach G. Yeah, we live with your boy Monty.
You and your squad ain't got nothing for me. Your organization is looking stressed. And now that you
Dawn
haters
of a
is
new
running-
day. Quarter 4 is here. The Rewind is back from hiatus. Episode 30 brought to you by Global Sports Entertainment 3. The captain, we're back in the ship. Monty Moss alongside my partner, Brian Garv, my co-host, who will be joining us momentarily. It's been a great few weeks off from the Rewind, but damn it, I can say I've missed it. I've got that itch again. Football season is back. College football week 1 is already in the books. Week 2 is beginning this Saturday. Tomorrow we get Philadelphia Eagles and Dallas Cowboys home opener of the 2025 NFL season. Can't wait. All grace to the good Lord. Thank you for all the continued support. We cracked over 200 subscribers on our YouTube channel, so appreciate the love. We need more of it as we get ready to go into this grind of quarter 4 of the NFL NCAA season. NBA returning in October, NHL season coming back, WNBA playoffs in a few weeks. Man, best time of the year if you're a sports fan. The only bad thing is that summer is officially almost over on September 23rd, and we get into the fall season, but who the hell cares? Let's get into it, the Rewind. Let's go. Want to give a special shout out to my dog, Chris, and all of his efforts and hard work to the first 29 on the Rewind, but the next 29 has got to be that much better. So I got to raise my game. Brian's got to raise his game. Pat's got to raise his game, and we got more work to do. So without further ado, my co-host, 4-time state champion, over 400 career wins as co-head coaching career, coached both football and basketball. He's in the North Hall of Fame. He's back from his hiatus. We've officially gone ship fishing, but then we return back to our roots on base. We already got in our cars. He's in the East Wing. I'm in the East Wing. He's got his Tom Landry hat on. Brian Garvin joined us, episode 30. Brian, what's good, man? Good to see you. Hope your vacation was good. How are things on your end? Are you ready to get this thing cracking?
Taking care of bullshit all these 3 weeks off. You had fun time and sitting there doing whatever you do. And a good old man, I went up picking up a little bit of an accent and had to handle some business, for these past 3 weeks. Kind of pissed me off. But I got my Tom Landry hat on here, and I got my Carolina blue because somebody got their ass kicked this week. And he had a good old bunny on the sideline, and his attention was paid a little bit more attention to her than anything else in the game because he started off a little hundoogie, but then after that he got his ass smacked. So it is what it is.
Well, great episode we got coming to you guys, breaking down college football recap for week 1. Let's get straight into it. Number 3 Ohio State, 14-7 victory at home in an opener over number 1 Texas. A lot of people, including myself, disagree with the Longhorns being ranked number 1. In my opinion, I feel any defending national champion that wins the year before should always start up the next year as ranked number 1 in the AP poll and let them lose it on their own. But new AP poll came out this past week, and Ohio State is officially ranked number 1. So giving it right to them where they deserve. Defensive game, Brian, from both teams. 7-0 was your score at half. Archie Manning and his Texas Longhorns start officially as a starter, 17-30, 170 yards passing, through 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Julian Sand, 13-20, 126 yards passing, 1 touchdown. Yes, I was looking forward to seeing what Jeremiah Smith was going to do, but wasn't really that much of explosive in this game. 6 receptions, 43 yards. Carnell Tate was the one that had the touchdown with 2 receptions, 49 yards. Defensive game on both sides, Brian, as we saw, Ohio State definitely moved the ball more effectively than Texas did in this home victory. But we saw all the hype coming into this game with Steve Sarkisian. We were in Texas a few months ago prior to this game, and we saw all the buzz that was going around campus, the University of Texas, with Archie Manning being their guy. Didn't have the greatest of games, but when we look at this game and this win for Ohio State, when we look at offensively from what you've seen Archie Manning through 4 quarters, what grade would you give Archie Manning and his performance against the defending champs Ohio State Buckeyes?
I would give him a D-. There's a lot of things that he has to work on, and I've said it before. Last year when they put him in some games, he has duck feet. His feet are really not that great. And his throwing motion is completely off. He's inconsistent. 1 minute he looks like a quarterback. Next minute he looked like an Oregon Duck. It was just really bad. For him to be in Manning. But we got to stop having that traditional roles of, that generational thing, come around just because of his last name and saying that he's going to be good because of it. Everybody is their own person. So Manny came out here and there's high expectations, and we expected to see Peyton Manning in the backfield, and it just wasn't that. It wasn't his other brother either. He's just his own person. And Archie, I call him Archie because I'm gonna call him Archie forever until he fixes this shit, because it was just that bad. And I sent you a text and I said he looks like pure shit, and he's pretty much looked like he was a freshman. And maybe he needs some time, but nobody has time to lose. That time's supposed to happen in the off season. And when we play in basketball, we always talk about the off season. The off season make you great during the season. Well, somebody messed up and they didn't, fix his mechanics in the off season. So now this is what you got to do and deal with in during the season. So let's see what happens, man. Hopefully they don't have to pull in this backup quarterback to come in and step in to save it or save the season. But to have Texas at number one is, I just don't agree with it. Defensively, they look fantastic. Ohio State defensively looked fantastic. It was just a sludge match between the both. It's just, if you had a quarterback to come in there ready to play, I think Texas would have pulled that one off. I really do, because they didn't have any problems. They had to double cover some people here and there, but Arch met some wide open people. I mean, hell, you could have thrown a freaking 8-yard pass and he was just wide open, threw it to his ankles. Like, okay. It just really didn't make any sense. Was it nerves? I don't know, but he has some easy games coming up here, the next 2 or 3 games. And yet everybody's going to stroke his love, and they go say, yeah, he looks that much better. Of course, he don't have that pressure on him. But can he play against big teams? Is remain to be seen.
Yeah, Texas losing to Ohio State last year in the college football playoff. Yes, Archie Manning wasn't the quarterback of that game last year, but both teams struggle on third down. Texas being 5-14, Ohio State 3-12. I mean, Texas dominated pretty much in every category when you look at it, from total yards 336 to 206, passing yards 170 to 126, rushing 166 yards on the ground to Ohio State 77. Time of possession was the only thing that Ohio State led in. That was, of course, the difference maker. But penalties. Bryant talks about that. That's a crucial game in either half. You want to limit your penalties. Texas having 6 penalties when affected them in 50 yards to Ohio State's 2. And, things like that. They got the touchdown late in the fourth quarter, but, Ryan Day doing what Ryan Day does is most, and that's be a leader in those crucial moments. And he held Texas to preventing from getting that. But fast forward, Texas gets a touchdown. They get the stop on third down. They get the 3 and out. This is Archie Manning's moment, I should say, to show us what you got in terms of, you're the number one quarterback in the country. You're the number one team. Your first true road game on a national televised game. Lee Corso's last college football game day, if you didn't know. And, this is the moment that you should show America what you're working with. And the offensive line was pretty much dismantled in that last drive. And, Ohio State defense, give them credit. Matt Patricia in his first game as defensive coordinator for the Buckeyes brought the pressure, bringing that NFL experience, revamping some things up on the defensive side. Brought the pressure. Archie Manning scrambling to his left, was able to get the pass off, but of course it was a 4th down, turnover and down to Ohio State. That was a difference maker. That was the win. So if you're Texas, I'm not saying it's something that you should panic. If you're a fan, you do have UTEP next week at home. That'll be a blowout in itself with the spread not yet coming out yet. Both teams are on 1. I wouldn't panic just yet, but Texas has a lot of expectations coming to this year. They have, of course, the oil money. They have the donors. And they're not playing around with Steve Sarkisian. So offensively, I thought he could have called the better game. But you can call all the great plays you want. It's up to the players to go out there and execute. And Texas offensively, as well as Archie Manning, didn't execute. But, Brian, let me ask you before we transition. With this loss to Ohio State, should Texas fans be concerned after starting the season on 1?
No, I think if he plays poorly in the second game, he should have some concern of whether he should finish the season. Versus an easy game like this, and they should blow this next team out. If he plays poorly, then it's time to pull the rope, and he's just not ready yet. It's just as simple. I can't afford, as a coach myself, to sit here and just keep riding a wave with a young man that just it's going to go into the game and perform that poorly. Yes, it was Ohio State, but hell, you weren't playing against what do you want to say, the Chicago Bears or something like that. No, it was Ohio State. So he's got to learn how to play on big stages. He was a little nervous. I don't know. I don't care all the excuses. Players are going to come out and play. So the nerves will last 15, 20 seconds, and after that, you're ready to rock. He looked like he wasn't ready to play for 3 quarters, and he kind of settled down the last when Ohio State kind of took the gas off. It looked like a little bit. I don't know, but at the end of the day, I think that game was winnable for Texas if they can produce offensively, and they just didn't do it.
Ohio State will be home next week against Ohio. That game will be at 7:00 p.m. Eastern time on Peacock. I expect the Ohio State Buckeyes to be 2-0 with a blowout in that game as well. And Texas will look to bounce back to even at 1-1, but well-deserved AP poll top 25. Ohio State deserves to be number 1 in my opinion. They should have started the season off 1-0, and we will see what happens from there. Another interesting game, Bryant, that I was very excited to see besides, of course, Ohio State and Texas at noon was this one right here, LSU and Clemson. A lot of hype coming into what Brian Kelly and his LSU team would look like to start the year. I thought this is a great first game of the season, as well as the first true road game of the season going into Clemson. You know what it's like to play at that stadium that Clemson plays in. It is a buzz, right? That's the picture behind you on your wall. 17-10 was your final. LSU with the victory. Of course, there were some interesting comments, I should say, from both Coach Dabo Swinney and Coach Brian Kelly. And in the aftermath, Dabo Swinney comes out in his post-game press conference and said it's like getting the final exam day 1 of class. They made a 65 grade. We finished with a 58. Neither one of us were great. Then LSU's Brian Kelly questioned Dabo's grading system and, quote, I thought we dominated them in the second half. So he's either really a really good grader for giving himself a 58, or he's a really hard grader on us. Basically, Kelly is ignoring the fact that, this was a either person's game. It came down to the final drive of the game in this fourth quarter between LSU and Clemson. But, Brian, what was your takeaway from Coach Kelly's first road win against Clemson and starting up the season 1-0 with a win over Clemson on the road?
I'm just want to be the first person, not the first person to say, but several people have said, I don't see how Brian Kelly has gotten so many jobs. This unbelievable. LSU, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to put it out there. And I could be wrong with this, but anywhere this guy's, I don't see him winning a national title as a head coach. He's just not too good for, with me. I just don't see him as that type of guy. But, however, it was a good win playing at Clemson. That is a tough place to win. I got firsthand experience with that, and seeing that bus going around that circle in the pregame and having the crowd stand up and they doing the wave, and next thing you know, they're running down and they're honking those horns and come up there and line up by that rock and everybody's running down. I'm surprised I haven't seen anyone stumble and fall yet, but that's a steep hill. But it's an atmosphere that I would never, ever forget. Great win by LSU to go in there to win in that place, hard place to win. Me scoring the first touchdown on that defense that they haven't scored I don't think anybody scored with them back in the 90s for almost damn near 2 years. That place is that good. At Clemson. So that was one hell of a win. And obviously LSU got some studs on that team. Is just see if Brian Kelly can actually coach them.
Yeah, Brian Kelly's had some success from his Notre Dame days, but he has yet to take LSU back to the mountaintop of and that's getting to a national championship game, which of course the reason why he's there anyway. Offensively, LSU, in my opinion, had the edge. They were able to control the run game. Clemson only finishing with 31 rushing yards total. That's not going to win you a game, especially against a good LSU defense. Them not scoring any points in the third and fourth quarter just showed me everything I needed to know from offensively with Clemson. They have some work to do. Clemson coming in the season being number 4. I wasn't sure if that was the hype in terms of them actually being a legit number 4. Obviously, the AP poll top 25 recently coming out will change those things. But give credit where credit is due to Coach Kelly, was able to have his team come on a row. I mean, Garrett Newsomeyer had a really good game on the passing 28 of 38, 232 yards, 1 touchdown. And you had everything going. The run game was going. Caden Durham, 17 carries, 74 yards, and the touchdown. You had Aaron Anderson with 6 receptions, 99 yards. They couldn't figure him out offensively on what to do with him. They were able to line him up in different spaces on the field. And LSU got to win where it mattered, and we'll see what they can do as the season goes along. I wouldn't sleep on Clemson just yet. I do expect them to finish at the top of the ACC as well as make the college football playoff. These things just take time for new teams to start, especially with transfers, especially with new players coming in, NIL stuff, players going out the door, system changes, coaching changes. So I'm not going to buy my stock on LSU just yet. This is Coach Brian Kelly we're talking about. He's lost a game, crucially, last season where it matters most. But LSU will be at home next Saturday against Louisiana Tech. I expect LSU to win as they are now number 3 in the country. Well-deserved, but it's still early in the season, and Clemson will be at home next week against Troy. So both teams looking to carry on with the win. Clemson getting his first win next week with Troy, and then LSU taking care of business at home against Louisiana Tech. I could be wrong. There could be an upset. I just don't think it'll be coming from there. And, Brian, when we talk about LSU, we talk about Brian Kelly. We talk about, obviously, the expectations for LSU each year and us saying that LSU can be a national championship contender. Of course, this year we will have to see that with our own 2 eyes with some new pieces coming in. But for people that love the SEC like you and I, from what you've seen from LSU last year, and that's losing in the college football playoff, what are your expectations from LSU this season, and how far do you see them going, not also in the SEC, but also in the country?
Well, like I said before, I think, and I could be wrong, but I think Chip Kelly is going to wind up, losing a game here that they shouldn't lose to. A stupid game. He's good for that. To lose to a Troy or Louisiana Tech or whoever's on their schedule that's not in their conference, he'll wind up going off and losing that game or losing a conference game. One of these games in here, 1 or 2, he's going to lose. That's what I think, because that's what he has done over in the past. A team like LSU, there's studs in the SEC. It's just what it is. If they pay for a lot of good players, the NIL deals, and they're stacked and loaded. Ohio State's stacked and loaded. Michigan's stacked and loaded now. There's a lot of teams that if you can pay for your players, you're going to be up in the top 10. It's just what it is. So can he coach them? Can he coach them to, the Final Four? Can he get them there? Can he produce and do great things at the finish line? Yeah, he can win 10 games. Yeah, he can win 9. Maybe he can win 11. But can he go 12, 13, and 0? Can he win a conference? Can he do those things? Guys like that, and I respect them as, they had the opportunity to be there and Division I coaches and all that. But, I don't like to pat myself on the back, but at the end of the day, I don't know everything, but I know a lot. And I know when I see good coaches, and I know coaches that can finish at the finish line. I've finished several times, and I just want to see if he can finish. And I still don't think he can do it. And you have some great coaches like John Chaney. John Chaney was a great coach, but he just couldn't finish. So let's see if he can finish.
Yeah, correction. I want to correct myself because I obviously, when I make a mistake, I'll publicly announce my correction. LSU finishing 9-4 last year. Of course, when we talk about LSU, the standard, and that's Ed Orgeron, and then winning the national championship in 2019, something they have yet to be back in since the departure of Ed Orgeron when he got fired. Go Tigers. But we'll see what Chip Kelly, he's offensive coordinator for the Raiders. We'll see what Brian Kelly has in store for LSU this year. I'm sure Baton Rouge and those expectations are high because they need LSU to be in the college football playoff. They need them to be in the national championship. And that's the ceiling for LSU this year, in my opinion. Fast forward, Florida State, number 8 Alabama coming into this game. I am being honest. I had Alabama to win, and boy, was I wrong. Florida State coming out and pounding the Crimson Tide, 31-17. No jolly old St. Nick on those sidelines for Alabama. It's safe to say some things have changed down in Tuscaloosa. And it was a anticipated game for me to watch because I wanted to see what this Alabama team looked like this year. Of course, there was a lot of hype coming into this year. In my opinion, Ryan Williams, one of the best wide receivers, number 2 receiver in the country. I'll put him right behind Jeremiah Smith from Ohio State because, in my opinion, Jeremiah Smith is the best receiver. Alabama officially being knocked out of the AP top 25. So long for a well. But Bryant, 31-17, Florida State with an impressive win at home to start the year. Shocked most. A lot of bettors had their money on Alabama. And, of course, a lot of people went home with empty pockets because Alabama couldn't get the job done. So, impressive win to start for Florida State, 1-0, 31-17. Your thoughts on Florida State's win over Crimson Tide?
Recruiting culture has changed. As no longer you are 3 and 4 deep and be able to not replace but reload. Now they have to replace and stack these teams up again, but they can't because NILs and money is everybody's getting it now. So now you got a coach. And Saban is not slick with that. He knew the deal. And a lot of coaches, it is just not him. It's a lot of basketball coaches that ran for the hills too. You can always tell NCAA who and what coaches was paying who and doing dirty stuff when the NIL came out. As soon as the NIL came out, those coaches left because they knew they couldn't do what they were doing before. It's no secret, and we talked about this before when Saban was with Michigan State, 6-6, 6-6, 6-6, 9-2. It's no secret. It's no secret. It don't take you 4 years to win 9 games. It's no secret what he did, and he continuously did it. And we talked about it, the illegal recruiting and all the stuff he did beforehand. And now it's showing. This the coach from Washington, he just don't have that type of connection. He don't have that type of money. What's that?
Change.
Yeah, it's changed. It's changed. He can't afford to shell out that type of money. Saban owns a car dealership down the street?
Over 20 of them.
Like you. Come on. Are you kidding? How do you recruit versus a coach that got 20 car dealers? You mean to tell me 20 car dealerships, if you get one sponsor per dealership, that's 20 elite players right there.
That's correct. Well,
20. If you get 2 sponsorships from 2 dealerships, that's 40 elite players. And they want to sit here and try to figure this out. Like, how is Alabama not winning? Guess what? He needs to go to Saban, kiss a little hiney, get all those dealerships, get those connections back, start shelling out the cash, and it'll come back real quick. Don't shoot the messenger. Just hate the game.
Well, for starters, Brian, I think the era of dominance in terms of recruiting are over, long gone. The days of Alabama being number 1 recruiting class year after year or top 5 recruiting class year after year, those days are over. There's a new sheriff in town in the SEC, and his name's Kirby Smart. He's part of the reason why Saban went into retirement because of the dominance of what Georgia has done. Flip side to it, when we talk about Nick Saban, if you didn't know, his old office at Alabama is now a T-Mobile phone store at Alabama. So clearly there's something wrong at Alabama in terms of their style of recruiting, the style of play. The good thing about it is you do have Ryan Williams, who's the second best receiver in college football, hands down. There's no other receiver outside of Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams that you're putting up there over 2 or over 1. That's number 1. Second thing is Alabama's got a lot of work to do, and the SEC ain't getting no easier. I mean, yes, you've added a team like Texas, you've added a team like Oklahoma to the SEC, so things are changing. And recapping from this Florida State game, I mean, Alabama was down 17-7 at the half. Alabama gave up a touchdown 24-7 third quarter. Alabama was never in this game to begin with. Defensively, they looked terrible. I mean, they were just flat. Florida State was able to do whatever they want, both in the passing game and in the running game. I mean, just alone of the rushing, 152 yards rushing total from what they had. Defensively, they were able to have 2 fumbles, 1 interception, and 3 turnovers that Alabama had. Anytime a defense is able to get 3 turnovers or create 3 turnovers, 99.9% of the chances they should win the football game. And Florida State did, in their own way.
Watch this here. You at Alabama, right? All right, you're a recruit. You're a recruit, okay? And I'm Saban right now, okay? And I'm coming in there and I say, son Monty, I'm going to give you're my star receiver. I'm going to give you $6 million a year. Your dealership responsible for you is Nissan. Where are you going? Are you thinking about going to other school?
Those days are over, brother.
No. Are you? I'm asking you this question. Are you thinking about going to another? I'm giving you $6 million a year. You don't have to worry about nothing. You can get any car you want. You can get any house you want. You can get anything you want. $6 million guaranteed per year.
Head coach.
Saban. I don't care who's the head coach. I want
to win.
Okay. But Ronald, it's you. Now, not only you, son, I'm bringing in another 39 5-star players just like you, and they're going to get the same guaranteed deal.
Don't know if I'll take that offer.
What is going to make you stay?
Well, these days, a lot of kids, they want to start right
away. You're guaranteed to start.
They want the money.
We give you the money.
Alabama's lost a lot of primetime games than what they used to have. So, of course, the exposure on national network is somewhat faded away.
No, that's going to come back.
I don't think I'll go to Alabama with that deal. Because
what do you want?
Well, I want to win. I want to coach I want a coach that has shown on a national televised level that he can develop players to get to the next level, which this current Alabama coach hasn't shown yet.
He don't have the same. He don't have the same guys. He don't have the money and the power.
He don't have the same resources or the connections that Saban has had.
Right, but if he had them, because because he proved it already.
Right,
he proved it at Washington. He did with limited. So what if he gets the same thing that Saban has? The same thing. Coaches don't win games. Players do. You got to get the players. He don't have 5 stars. He's not 3 and 4 deep like Saban was. What's the name? Get hurt. I forgot freaking running back. My brain's moving so fast. Any of those players get hurt. Today, the second player is a 3rd star. It's a 3-star, 2-star.
Right. I mean, Alabama was 5-star
3 deep
from top to bottom.
Right. 3 deep.
All 3 phases.
The third string was a 5-star. They can go start anywhere.
Anywhere in the country.
That's not there anymore.
Well, when he was at Washington, he was able to be in a less, obviously good conference, and there's no shade. And his success with Washington was in a different era, safe to say, because NIL wasn't fully blown yet. It was still somewhat early stages, and you had Michael Penix Jr. and you had the national championship. It's a different.
You're talking about 2 years removed.
I'm just saying you can't bring what worked at Washington to an SEC school like Alabama, filling the shoes of Nick Saban. It's just not going to work.
You're right, and it's not like Nick Saban it was the God of all gods of football. He's not. I'm telling you.
He's a good X and O coach. He was good at having a standard in the locker room. He didn't have any off the field issues.
I give you the standards. I give you this.
His players played at a high level and from top to bottom, from offense, defense, special teams. Film room was a whole different ball game, and he had NFL coaches and resources in the university, including the training and strength conditioning coach. I mean, he had stud coaches. That's a well-oiled machine, right?
Yeah.
So when that stuff leaves, it's hard to replace. No matter what the style. I mean, once Saban left, Kirby Smart was able to take Saban's head strength and conditioner coach, pay him more, bring him to Georgia. Georgia wanted to win a national championship. Georgia wanted to beat Alabama in the SEC. And not only in the SEC, but also in the SEC championship. So these things play a part.
No question about it. And what you just said it right on the dot. I agree with you 100%. Kirby did what? He paid for the best.
Yes.
You got to pay for the best.
Alabama,
you want the best?
No more.
You got to pay for the best.
I agree. And we'll see what Alabama has. No jolly old St. Nick. Speaking of paying for the best, a quarterback who I think is going to lead us. I'm not being all in this year, because this year will be a very interesting season. But this year 2 and year 3 is where I think we will do damage, a lot of damage. And that's still including beating Ohio State, by the way, every year. And that's the Michigan Wolverines. Bryce Underwood, the guy that Michigan paid for over $10 to $12, $13 million a year. Yes, he got his first start in his home opener against New Mexico. Bryce Underwood and Justin Hayes looked really good. 34-17 was the final, was able to take care of business at home, over 100,000 strong at the greatest stadium in college football. Bryant should know a thing or two about that. But for people out there that were a little bit hesitant on what we would see from Bryce Underwood, I thought Bryce played pretty good. I would give him a B+ in his first start as our quarterback, as our leader. 34-17 was your final. Michigan was able to score 14 points in the first quarter, going to 14-10. But 21-31 from Bryce Underwood, 251 yards passing, 1 touchdown. Justin Hayes, 16 carries, 159-yard rushing on the ground, 3 touchdowns behind this offensive line, which I think will be one of the best offensive lines in the country. And Martin Klein was able to get involved in the passing game, 6 receptions, 93 yards. Defensively, we held New Mexico to 50 yards rushing on the ground, as well as 217 passing yards. I'll take that any day. Yes, it's New Mexico. Let's not get carried away. It's not a top 25 team in the country, but Bryce Underwood looked good, Brian, in my opinion, from week 1 and 1-0, well-deserved. And what were your takeaway from the Wolverines this year coming in, of course, with a lot of different news and speculation from what the NCAA gave us prior to the start of the season, but to start 1-0 at home, I'll take it. You?
Yeah, I'll take it. He did what he's supposed to do as a rookie quarterback, in college football. New Mexico State, it's not, jumping off hoops over here. I tell you what, the stage that would tell me about him, and it's a shame that we have to wait in the Big Ten to all the way to the last damn game of the season against Ohio State to really understand. I think so, because I really don't know who's on their schedule. I kind of figured off as basically the basics of the original Big Ten schedule. I'm not sure if Rutgers on there. Indiana. Yeah, Indiana. Indiana's. You have what? Michigan State. It was just. Illinois.
You got Washington. Got USC. You got Nebraska. Right. You got Central Michigan.
Yeah, but Nebraska is. Illinois is much better this year. Illinois is ranked in the top 20. But it's not. You're like. It was the only true test is Ohio State.
No, I disagree.
Oh,
I disagree. I think Michigan's first true road game, but more importantly, first true game in terms of on the road, hostile environment. That's the Saturday coming up against Oklahoma. I mean, Oklahoma.
Well, you know what?
Oklahoma's pretty good. Oklahoma's
Right.
pretty good.
I'm not talking about out of conference. I'm talking about in conference.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, in conference. Yeah. Out of conference.
But this is a big test Saturday.
This is a big game. This is a big game for them. There's no question for all. That's a good test. But in conference, Ohio State is it, and that's nobody else. But Ohio with Oklahoma, it's going to be this is going to be like last week, but this week is going to be a good, great test for them. I think Oklahoma always have some little loopholes in their defense. They've always had it. When I was there, they always had it. You know, just little quirks. They're offensive machines. You know that Oklahoma can put up 35, 42 points.
They put up 35 last week. 35-3 over Illinois State.
Illinois State. But they're liable for big games to give up 35, 42.
Of course.
So, this one is like, I don't know. It remains to be seen, but we'll find out.
So let me ask you this, and this is just from obviously looking at both Michigan week 1 and Oklahoma week 1. Michigan playing New Mexico at home, Oklahoma taking care of business against Illinois State. Do you see Michigan on Saturday going into Oklahoma and coming out 2-0?
That's a 50-50. I got to give it 50-50. I think Oklahoma may pull this one out for the reason of just having a rookie quarterback. He's going to make some rookie mistakes. There's some experienced guys over there. I think it's going to be more of a ground and pound for Michigan. I think they're going to limit his ability. But, you know, this kid can throw the football. I can tell him. He can throw the freaking football. You know, is he mistake-free? I don't think he's there yet. But this is a great stage for him to be in, and let's see what he can do. I got this game as a toss-up. I think it may be like a 28-31 football game. It's just what it is. I think it's going to be a great one. It's one that, you know, is the funny thing about it is this. These are two schools that I could have very easily been at. That's one where I was there, and the other one I was signed to go to school to. So this is one of those games that I'm sitting there looking at this. I'm like, wow, who would have thought?
Who would have thought? We've been here before. And look, I'll give Oklahoma credit. They were able to hold Illinois State to 34 passing yards. That's amazing in itself in full court. But it's Illinois State. Let's get that. Let's get that out of the way. All right, this is the Michigan Wolverines. This is a Michigan team who Coach Moore, with him being second-year head coach here for the university, still cleaning up all the stuff that they are throwing at us with Harbaugh over recruiting allegations, over a cheeseburger, whatever. This right here is a true first row game for the Wolverines. Bryce Underwood, this is the game to show me what you got under the bright lights. It'll be at 7:30 on Saturday. And Oklahoma, they're a favorite. I mean, right now, according to ESPN, they have a 60% chance to win this game on Saturday. So if Michigan's going to get it done, they're going to need to get it done on the ground. And that's what Justin Hayes doing, what he does behind that offensive line. And that's what Michigan's defense limiting, of course, John Mantier, who had 392 yards and 3 touchdowns against Illinois State. Two different defenses, but I got Michigan on the road. I think Michigan moves on to 2-0. It'll be a close game. It'll come down to the defense. If Michigan can limit the explosiveness of what Oklahoma was able to do in week 1, I like our chances. Oklahoma hasn't seen an offensive line like we have, nor have they seen the running game of what we can possess, and that's what we've shown in week 1. So it'll be interesting. 7:30 Saturday night, I will be watching Wolverines, Boomer Sooners. Man, go blue. Let's get it. Let's go. Let's move on to 2-0. Let's get this stuff cracking. Miami and Notre Dame. This was a really good game in itself. Miami extends their perfect home opener streak to 18-0 since moving to the Hard Rock Stadium down in Miami. They were able to pull off a 27-24 win over the ranked number 6 Notre Dame. Bryant, I texted you prior to this game to get your opinion and insight on what we will see from Notre Dame, and you called it. They will struggle defensively, but it will come down to who will get the last stop. Miami was able to get it done. 27-24 was your victory, number 10 over number 6. Notre Dame scoring 17 points in the fourth quarter alone. Miami struggled in that fourth quarter, wasn't able to move the football, nor was they able to put any points on the board. But Bryant, are you impressed with Miami's win at home over number 6 Notre Dame?
It's so tough to tell how what teams are going to do what these days with these NILs. But I was impressed the way they came out and played against Notre Dame. Notre Dame, I had them being in the playoffs and winning the whole thing. Notre Dame usually finish up the season strong. I think they jumped out the gate late. If it was a 5 quarters, I think they possibly could have won the freaking game. But you waited too late. Defensively, you just don't show the hell up until you have to. You know what I'm saying? And then now you push that panic mode, and then those teams that basically just took off the gas in the fourth quarter, they find the will to win. I've seen it over and over and over again. You know what I mean? You got to play the game for 4 quarters. Both teams, you know what I mean? But Miami, they showed the will to win. And Notre Dame, you shit the bed early. You can't do it. You got to come out the gate. And that comes from freaking leadership. You know what I mean? I have to put the pressure on the head coach because you can't have your players come out playing flat. You just can't. You know what I mean? And they came out like lethargic, and they basically got the oh shit moment. You can't do it. Because now you want them losing, and now you got to climb yourself out of a 0-1 situation, and you can possibly lose another 1, 2, or 3 in there because of it. And now you're trying to build your way on up. They are a college football playoff team, no question about it. Now I have them win a natty. Now I question it because of the energy level. You got to come out and play 4 quarters all the way through.
Yeah, I'm not too concerned if I'm a Notre Dame fan. Despite the loss against Miami, I'm an advocate for college football for top 25 teams to get it on week 1, start the season off right. No better battle tested game than to go up against another ranked top 25 opponent. We've seen it with Texas and Ohio State, and we got to see it with Miami and Notre Dame, 2 teams who can easily be right back in the college football playoff, who may possibly meet again. We shall see. But I was impressed with Carson Beck, first-year guy at Miami, a transfer from Georgia. Looked really good when it mattered, 20 of 31, 205 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. And Malachi Toney, I mean, that one-handed catch with Beck throwing it into double coverage easily could have been an interception, threw it into no man's land. But what a great one-handed grab by Toney to go make a play to give Miami the touchdown. But Miami did what they're supposed to do. They came out and jumped on Notre Dame early. I mean, they were up 14-7 at half. Third quarter, they came out and scored 21-7, and they put all the pressure on Notre Dame to have that, oh, man, here we are moment, as Brian talked about. And for Notre Dame to score 17 points in the fourth, yes, and probably against a different team that wins you a game. But what the momentum that Miami already had cultivated through 3 quarters, Miami scoring 6 points is all it really needed, unless Miami was going out there and make a mistake, which they didn't. They took care of football where it mattered most. But Miami finishing with 127 rushing yards to Notre Dame 94, that was crucial. And Notre Dame offensively, giving up 2 fumbles, that hurts. Again, as we talked about, anytime you turn the football over in a football game, rather it's college or NFL, it'll cost you double, especially when it matters most. And we was able to see a really good Miami defense. Just kind of, I thought the second half they kind of loosened up. I thought first half defensively they had a great game plan to limit what Notre Dame could do in the passing game, and limiting, of course, Jordan Price, who's coming into the season with a lot of buzz in the running game for Notre Dame. It was only to hold him to 45 rushing yards. I thought that was an exceptional game plan from Miami. But, to have C.J. Carr, quarterback, come out for Notre Dame and to have the fourth quarter that he did, I just thought that we would have saw that early on, maybe the first quarter, even the first half, that would have changed the game. But Notre Dame, nothing to worry about if you're a Fighting Irish fan. Next week, you get to go at home against a 19-ranked Texas A&M squad, who's another team not to sleep on in the SEC. Another good test for Notre Dame. And, Miami moving on to another game at home. And Miami's a team that you can arguably make the pick for that is a sleeper in the SEC. Yes, we saw what Clemson did at home. Yes, we saw Miami get the win at home to move to 1-0. North Carolina, we're getting ready to talk about them, all the buzz coming into them being a top ACC team in the conference, yet to be determined. But if you're Miami, tip your hats off. But if you're Notre Dame, nothing to panic on. Notre Dame's a well-seasoned coach team. I expect them to be are right back in the college football playoff, competing for a national championship. So we shall see. Miami 1-0, 18-0 in home openers since moving to Hard Rock Stadium in 2008. But, Bryant, let's get to the game that you've been dying to talk about, and that's the North Carolina Tar Heels opening up their season opener Monday night against TCU. 48-14 was your final. We had a lot of stars in attendance from North Carolina alum, from Michael Jordan to Lawrence Taylor to Randy Moss to Jabril Peppers. I mean, we even had Coach Belichick's girlfriend on the sideline at one point prior to the game starting. But UNC, man, they came out. They showed me, I think we're here. Caleb Hood had the 8-yard rush touchdown on the first drive. North Carolina goes up 7-0. Roy Williams in the suite clapping. We got LT smoking cigars. MJ's fired up. I'm like, here we go. Bill Belichick era has begun in the college football era. But TCU took care of business, and that was dominating them ever since they scored that touchdown. 21 points scored in the third quarter alone. That was pretty much all she wrote. It was over at halftime. It was over in the second half. UNC having 30 new players added to this year's roster compared to last year. I was a big advocate for Mac Brown. I thought the Mac Brown era started off right, but then things kind of slowed down with the whole NIL movement. But with Bill Belichick here, NFL Hall of Famer head coach, 6-time Super Bowl champion, great defensive mind, has his son Steve Belichick as defensive coordinator, has Michael Jordan and a bunch of donors supporting this new era, supporting this new movement. This is Michael Jordan's first time at a UNC football game since 2017. I mean, no better place to have it, ESPN primetime. But, Brian, what was your reaction to UNC's performance on Monday night, as well as where do you see UNC finishing in the ACC? Yes, Bill Belichick, all the hype, all the news, all the speculation, him coming in. But defensively, from a defensive mind, you would think that UNC defensively would have played much better than what they did. But giving up over 40 points in the first game, that's something that Bill Belichick, I'm sure, didn't sleep well Monday night after the game. Your thoughts?
Well, let's go back to the Mac Brown comment. And we had this discussion before we even started doing this online stuff and in podcasting and whatever it may be. And I told you Mac Brown wasn't going to be that.
No, you're right. I give credit was due.
Yeah, that. I knew that. His ass was too damn old, and he was way out of touch. So I was just like, okay, let this filter out. And exactly what I said actually happened. Now, with Bill Belichick, the team played just like Bill. He busted a nut, and he went to sleep. The team busted a nut early.
You can't say that.
And they went to sleep. Oh, yes, I can. They nutted on themselves. Are you kidding me? Did you see how they played? They came out early. Boom!
Chris,
and next thing you know,
I can't be a part of that. I can't be a part of that.
He busted a nut and went to sleep. You know he did.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't. I think there was a lot of hype coming in, a lot of attention over the summer. And let's just face it, Bill Belichick's not used to the type of outside noise that he's allowed. I mean, if we go to his 21 plus years in New England, you never saw New England Patriots on Hard Knocks. You never saw all the immediate attention in terms of preseason previews and stuff like. I mean, there were so many cameras at North Carolina this offseason. I mean, it was insane.
Let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question.
Go ahead.
You see the finest girl that you can ever see in your life. You're so excited. What happens?
What does that have to do with?
It has a lot to do with it. Because you're so excited, you lose your mind and and it's over. That's exactly what they did. They got too damn excited and they forgot to play the game.
30 new players this year, Brian. That's a lot to work with.
Yeah, I get it. So you got 30 new players. So does everybody else.
No, not everybody doesn't.
Look, 30 new players, who cares? Those are the ones that he recruited. Those are the ones that he came out game busters. Those are the ones.
Takes time.
We said the same thing about Mac Brown.
No. Look, I'm an advocate that Bill Belichick will win at UNC. I mean, UNC was 6-7 last year. UNC will be better than that this year, hands down, no question, no question.
Who knows?
But let's not sleep on TCU.
Yeah, well, I'm not sleeping on TCU.
TCU squad that's more experienced than UNC roster-wise, more experienced coaching-wise, and like TCU was.
TCU has more experience coaching-wise than Bill Belichick.
Look at TCU. I mean, Bill. It's his first year coaching college.
It's college, so he should really dominate that shit. Look at it. Look at it. Who is UNC going to beat this year in the ACC?
You want me to tell you?
Go ahead.
Virginia.
Maybe.
Syracuse. Wake Forest.
Oh, let's go back to the Syracuse one.
NC State. Actually,
hold on. Well, game by game. Game by game.
All right.
Go back to the first one. Virginia. That ain't no easy win.
Clemson at home.
They're going to get obliterated.
Virginia at home.
Virginia, that's a 50-50 game.
Syracuse on the road in the Dome.
Now you already know we know the head coach over there at Syracuse.
We do.
And playing in that Dome is not easy.
On the road, Wake Forest.
They'll win that one.
At home against Duke with your boy, Nate Diaz, head coach.
Correct. That's a 50-50 game at this point.
On the road against NC State.
Oh, dude, you already know them border battles.
Look, listen, this is my takeaway from
the game. They're not beating Florida State.
They don't have Florida State this year.
Thank God.
Clearly. Look, UNC struggled in the passing game. I mean, Gio Lopez was a starter, 4-10, 69 yards passing, benched him. The game was already over when they benched him. 50 rushing yards, that's not going to win. But, again, TCU has a much more experienced squad than UNC. But regardless of the hype, you got to have the horses. UNC don't have the horses. They don't have them. They don't have the horses. They'll progress as the season goes along. But for people out there that think UNC is going to be like this 12 win team and the ACC and to make the college football playoff and Belichick's year one, and I'm not even a big fan. I'm not even a big fan of Steve Belichick being defensive coordinator because he stinks in New England.
Exactly. So why hype them up for failure? That was the biggest. You put them on TV.
What you say? What'd you say? What'd you say? Media, right?
Yeah.
Media, right?
Yeah. You put them on TV by themselves. The world.
A lot of games on TV this year too.
Huh?
They got a lot of national televised games this year too.
Yeah, but you put them on. What's the game? It was on Sunday, right?
This game was on Monday night.
On Monday night. Well, who else is playing on Monday night?
Believe that was the only game.
Exactly. Everybody saw that. Everybody saw that. They saw it so much they zoomed on him with him and his boot on the sideline. That was bad.
Was that the highlight of the game?
That was the highlight of the game. That was a highlight. So I'm like, really?
So let me ask you. Go ahead. Let me ask you this.
I've seen this before. I've seen it.
Let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
What record will UNC have this year?
4-8.
UNC winning 4 games this year?
4.
So you're saying they will finish worse than what they did last year at 6-7?
Yes. And the reason why? Because of the overinflated hype. You can't do this, dude. You have to grow slowly. You have to.
So say year two. That's when they will have their "we have arrived" moment.
Right. Okay. Because it's the same thing as Colorado. That was a whole different type of hype. Colorado first year came in 4-8. Didn't I call that year? I said 4-8. I call Colorado this year 6-6.
They're on one start.
They only want to start. I mean, that's one thing. In the NFL, I can get wrong maybe, 30, 40% of the time. College football, that shit is just easy to me. I can look at personnel and tell you who's going to win and lose. That's why a lot of people bet off my word. It's just what it is. And I'm sitting here, huh?
So you have 4 wins for UNC this year, right? That's your prediction.
Yes.
Did you know that TCU's win on Saturday was the most points that a Belichick team has ever allowed in his coaching career?
Well, see, Belichick never coached in college.
Well, I'm just saying in a Belichick era.
Right. So, you know what I'm saying? And I can understand NFL era. NFL is different from college.
Right.
It's just what it is. In college, you don't have your starting quarterback making $20 million and your running back is making 8.5. You don't have that.
Correct. I think this was when I look at it, this is Coach Belichick's welcome to college football, humble pie. Great. And in the great words of Bill Belichick, we're on to Charlotte, and who they played this Saturday on the road, which I expect North Carolina to win 1-1. And we'll go from there.
Who are they playing this Saturday?
Charlotte on the road.
That's like playing Eastside High School.
With who at coach? You or
nobody, because the team is gone.
We won't talk about that. We'll talk about the politics behind that.
Yes.
We'll see what UNC can do and see if they bounce back on Saturday, 7:00 Eastern time on ESPN Plus. UNC is the favorite with 14 points to spread, with 49.5 over or under. Moving on now, Bryant. Let me just clear the air on this, because before we went on hiatus, right? Just hear me out. The Las Vegas Aces was at the All-Star break, very questionable. They were 1 game over 500 at the All-Star break. You do know that they're the hottest team since the All-Star break has started, since the second half of the stretch. 12-game winning streak, Becky Hammond, Aja Wilson, Jackie Young. We're getting into that. Minnesota Lynx 32-8, leading the best team in the WNBA with the record since the return of the great, arguably the MVP of this year, Napheesa Collier, who was out sidelined with an ankle injury from August 2nd. She's returned. Currently 32-8, franchise record over 30 wins, something they have yet have done, especially with all the greats from Minnesota like Maya Moore. Since returning from injury, Napheesa Collier, 32 points, 9 rebounds against the Indiana Fever, 18-9 against Seattle, 17-9 against Connecticut Sun, 25 points against one of the worst teams in the WNBA, and that's Paige Becker's Dallas Wings. I'm not throwing any shade. Putting herself right back in the debate of the league's MVP. Man, Minnesota's hot. WNBA playoffs are right around the corner. And then we talk about the Las Vegas Aces, 26-14, best record since the All-Star break, 12-game winning streak right now. Becky Hammond's got these guys rolling. Aces are 10-0 in the last 10. Aja Wilson leading the team with 23 points per game, 10 rebounds. Jackie Young, who recently had her first career triple-double, well-deserved, 16 points per game. Phoenix Mercury, want to shine some light on them. They're currently on a 4-game winning streak, and Elisa Thomas leads the league in assists, 9 assists per game. Now, Caitlin Clark's been injured, and it's been really pretty much a non-factor for the Fever in the second half of this year. Earlier in the season, she led the league in assists, but that's no longer a conversation. WNBA playoffs will be right around the corner. Round 1, September 14th, 1 p.m. on ESPN. Can't wait to the WNBA playoffs, but just want to shine a light on the Aces. I'm a huge Jackie Young fan. And look, it's all about getting hot at the right time. Aces were one game over 500 prior to the All-Star break. And I told Hawk, I told Ollie D in our group chat, if Aces going to have to make a run, it's going to be in the second half. 10-0 in the last 10, 14-5 at home, improved their away record 12-9, averaging over 82 points a game, 14-8 in the conference, 12-game win streak. I mean, what better start could you have, Brian, if you're the Las Vegas Aces, if you're Becky Hammond and a team that has some studs and with Aja Wilson and Jackie Young. So look forward to seeing what the Aces do to close out the year, and we'll have some WNBA playoffs talk right around the corner. Got a really good guest coming on next week, former WNBA champion. Can't wait to talk about that. Can't wait to dig into WNBA, and which we will. NFL season, Bryant. Finally. Damn it. we start this thing in January. We were in the playoffs, in the Super Bowl. Now we're starting from square one, and that's week 1 of the 2025 NFL football season. Tomorrow night, Thursday Night Football returns, 8:20 on NBC and Peacock. Dallas Cowboys versus defending champions Philadelphia Eagles. Maria Taylor, Jason Garrett, Chris Sims, Tony Dungy, Rodney Harrison, Mike Ferrillo, Devin McCourty, Matthew Berry, Jack Collinsworth will have the pregame on NBC starting at 7:20. Maria Taylor leading the charge with Football Night in America. Woo! Can't wait for this one, baby. Cowboys. No Micah Parsons as he's now a Dallas Cowboy. Shame. I'm sorry. He's now a Green Bay Packer. Sorry. A team that Bryant has to see twice a year as a Chicago Bears fan. Cowboys are also entering the game as an 8-point underdog on the road, over or under currently at 48. Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth will have the call. Melissa Stark will have the sideline coverage. Let's give our first rewind insight to this game. Now, the Cowboys coming into this year have had all the noise and the cameras and the reporters this whole NFL offseason. This is the 3rd year in a row that we've had Jerry Jones and Cowboys drama. If you don't remember, 3 years ago, we had Dak Prescott drama. Getting a deal done, they get a deal done. They paid him in. Last year was about CeeDee Lamb, all the news, all the hype. He's sitting out for OTA. Jerry Jones going back and forth with the media. They get a deal done. Going into this year, Micah Parsons is like, hey, look, let's get a deal done. Jerry says, okay, let's get a deal done. They start negotiations in April. Jerry's trying to backdoor Micah by having a one-on-one conversation. Micah came out public and said, listen, I will not talk about negotiation or a contract extension unless my agent is in the room. I pay my agent to represent me, and his agent job is to get the best deal possible for his client. Back and forth chatter, things didn't work out. Micah came out with a public announcement that he's requesting a trade from Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones came out in the media, tarnished and backed his star player up on defense. Fast forward, Cowboys trade Micah Parsons to the Green Bay Packers for 2 first-rounders, and, of course, the defensive tackle Clark. And, again, it's 2 low first-round draft picks. And before we get into our predictions and insights for this game, let's just do a little bit of clarity for this trade because I want to talk about it just a little bit. You could have got 2 low protected first-round draft picks from any 31 national football teams in the league. Any other team, you could have got two late first-rounders. But you sent them to the Green Bay Packers, who a team that destroyed you and walked all over you in Jerry's world last year in the playoffs at home. The team that you can't beat in the regular season nor can you beat in the playoffs. Safe to say the Green Bay Packers is the Dallas Cowboys kryptonite. And what does Jerry Jones do being petty? He traded them to the Packers. Now, that also do the Packers get younger with Micah Parsons being 26. They give him $126 million guarantee. Jerry wanted to make Micah the highest paid player in the NFL. I'm not sure if that's true or not. But this is Jerry and his ego and his pride strikes once again. Cowboy fans are now miserable again, even more. And we're now entering over 30 years of them not making a Super Bowl, over 30 years not making an NFC championship. But for me, when we talk about the Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys, the Eagles are coming to national defending Super Bowl champions. That place, Financial Field, is going to be rocking. I mean, Xfinity Live pregame, that place is going to be a zoo. If you don't know, look it up. We posted it last year with them in their playoff game, a game that Bryant and myself supposed to get to, we didn't get to. But for the Cowboys, you just lost your pass rusher. I don't see anybody on this year's roster who's getting to the quarterback. Your front 4 sucks. Your linebacker core sucks. Besides Diggs on the defensive side, he only can guard one person. Your safeties are trash. The Cowboys probably have one of the worst defenses in the NFL this year. I don't see how defensively they can get up the field on 3rd down. What this trade tells me is that the Cowboys will find themselves in games with George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott having to bail them out, and you're going to have to score offensively 25 to 30 points a game to win because the NFC East didn't get any worse. They got better. The Washington Commanders got better. Philadelphia Eagles, they lost some key pieces, but they got better. And at home, I expect the Eagles to win. I'm taking them to win. I'm going to go my score prediction 35-21. I think Philly's going to come out and kick ass and take names. And, you know, this Philadelphia offense led by Saquon Barkley, he's going to do what he's supposed to do. And that's rush for over 75 yards. So FanDuel, Monty's locks, we're back again. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Take Saquon Barkley to rush over 75 yards. Jalen Hurts is going to throw for over 200. Take him to throw a touchdown. Take anytime touchdown score Devontae Smith. And for the Cowboys, I don't see anything. If anything, take Dak Prescott, throw an interception because he's guaranteed to do that. But Philadelphia Eagles will win and dominate in fashion. They will lose 0-1, and Philadelphia Eagles start off 1-0 at home, defending Super Bowl champions. Bryant, who you got? Floor's yours.
This is easy, man. The Eagles. I think I don't think the Cowboys is as bad as you say they are. They're going to compete. They're not going to win the game, but I think it'd be like a 34 or 31-17 type game. This would be a little bit of hype, but I think the backups will wind up playing towards the fourth quarter to let those guys rest out. The Eagles are very, very deep. Their third team can start some places in the NFL. That team is a scantron of Alabama. That's Nick Saban's crew. That's what the Eagles. So you basically are playing a rollover of a national championship team and back to back. The Eagles. I can't see them not winning a Super Bowl again. If they got to shoot themselves in their own foot or become injured, knocking on wood. But other than that, that team is loaded. They're stacked 2 and 3 deep. You just can't beat a team like that. They just got to make sure they keep their quarterback healthy.
Yeah, this will be an interesting game. One, I'm looking forward to seeing, of course, the banner release at home, national televised game. And, some players, Nick Sirianni being the head coach, was a bit shocked that this would be something that the league was preparing for the Eagles to do, and that's to release a banner. Of course, it's the first game of the year. Every team does that. Defending Super Bowl champions always. But it's something the city's been talking about it. The players have been talking about it. And, this is a new season for the Philadelphia Eagles. Players like Jalen Hurts have already came out publicly and said, the last season's behind us. We're worried about trying to get back to the Super Bowl and repeat again. And with all the hype coming into the season, I feel like the Eagles feel a little bit disrespected from what the hype and the media is saying about them. I mean, to be the best, you have to beat the best. And the Eagles have all the ingredients to be right back in the NFC Championship. They have all the ingredients to win the NFC East because it damn sure won't be the Giants and it damn sure won't be the Cowboys. So the NFC East is going to be between the Eagles and the Commanders. That's just my personal opinion when we look at it. Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, Devontae Smith, Devontae Smith, Jalen Carter, Cooper DeJean. These are the best of the best. You know what I mean? And the Eagles, they have a little bit more edge off of them offensively because you don't have Micah Parsons coming after you if you're Jalen Hurts. But this offense should be able to move the ball very well against the Dallas Cowboys. I don't see the Eagles struggling offensively. I believe the play call will be pretty much bar none to give the Eagles at least 28 points to score against the Cowboys because, even with Dallas losing Micah Parsons defensively, even if they would have had them, where do you see the Cowboys being a strong or putting up a strong defensive display, against the defending champs? It's a tough place to play for Lincoln Financial Field. I mean, ask the Green Bay Packers last year. I mean, this is a tough place to play. I mean, Philly, this is a rivalry game to start off the year. No better team to play. I mean, but this is what Jerry does. And not to mention, the Cowboys played the Packers at home week 4, the same team that he traded Micah Parsons to. So this is just a business move. I mean, a lot of eyes, a lot of ears are going to be on that game. But the hell with week 4, let's worry about week 1. But, Brian, I want to ask you a quick question because both our teams play week 1 to start. I'm excited. Patriots open up week 1 at home against the Raiders. And your Chicago Bears, with new head coach Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams, and a new offensive system open up at home Monday night against the Minnesota Vikings, who's had your number last year. And Ben Johnson knows a thing or two about the Minnesota Vikings when he was, of course, the offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions under Dan Campbell. So this would be exciting to see. What are your expectations for the Bears week 1 at home Monday night against Justin Jefferson and the Minnesota Vikings?
24-21 Chicago Bears. Hands down. We're going to win that one. There's no question about it. No question about it. 24-21, tight, close game. I don't respect the Vikings. I've been up there. I've seen their games. That is one boring-ass city. It's too goddamn cold up there anyway. They don't deserve to win anything. They haven't won shit in
And the
decades.
playoffs. Yep, that's true.
They haven't ever. So I don't respect that ass team. So, so they could go themselves, and yet the Bears are going to win 24-21.
You know who's starting for the Minnesota Vikings on Monday night, right?
Oh, I know who's starting. Go Blue.
Go Blue. J.J. McCarthy getting his first NFL start. If you didn't know, J.J. McCarthy had a season-ending injury last year, which led to Sam Darnold being the guy that was all of us was pretty much known to see. Have a good regular season. Best season of his career. Got to deal with Seattle. Now you fast forward in the playoffs, Sam Darnold looked like the Sam Darnold we know, and that's full like a bag of lawn chairs. I'm happy to see Adam Thielen reunite with his co-host, and that's Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson, of course, had a great season last year, multiple awards. I mean, broke records for the Minnesota Vikings franchise, and that's including beating Randy Moss and receiving yards. But this Minnesota Vikings offense will be exciting to see. Aaron Jones in the running game. Of course, Jordan Addison won't be playing. He is suspended. He won't be back until the end of the month for the Vikings. But T.J. Hawkinson, he will have what he does in the passing game along with Adam Thielen. This will be exciting, but I think the Bears get their first win at home in the Ben Johnson era. I look forward to seeing what the Bears offense looks like with Ben Johnson, DeAndre Swift, who I think will have a really good year on the ground. The offensive line, I don't know. DJ Moore will be the guy. Caleb Williams will have to play a really good game and cannot turn the ball over. But if it's one thing we did see, and that's in the Ben Johnson era in Detroit, they were one of the top offenses in the NFL. Jared Goff protected the football, didn't create or cause many turnovers, and he made sure to spread the wealth from the run game with Jamar Gibbs and David Montgomery to the passing game with St. Brown. So Bears will have a lot to look for. And I look forward to see my man Colson Loveland, have a really good game against the Vikings. That will be Monday night. Joe Buck, Troy Aikman will have the call. The return of the NFL season. Go Blue. But Patriots and Raiders. I mean, I told Chief Sally, shout out to Chief Sally, that POS, who's a diehard Raider fan. I don't know why, but they have a new quarterback and Geno Smith. They have a new head coach in Pete Carroll, winning quarterback Pete Carroll, Super Bowl champion with the Legion of Boom in 2014, Seattle Seahawks. But Patriots have a new head coach, Mike Vrabel. We reunited with our offensive coordinator, Josh McDaniels. Drake May entering year 2. A healthy Stephon Diggs is a great Stephon Diggs, but he's coming off an ACL tear last year. So Patriots are an exciting team to watch, 1 o'clock Eastern time. I believe that the Patriots will get a win, 1-0. Stevenson will have a good game on the ground. Antonio Gibson will do well for us. Keyshawn Boot will do well. Stephon Diggs will do well. And I'm looking forward to seeing what this defense looks like at home against the Raiders. So Patriots 1-0, Bears 1-0. You can catch those games. Patriots 1 o'clock Eastern time on CBS. Bears will open up their home opener Monday night on ESPN. And it's going to be a great lineup for NFL Sunday. Woo, we won't have time for that, but we'll carry that for our next week for our recap of week 1 from this Sunday. But Bryant, man, it's been a great episode. Good to be back with you, episode 30. But I could not leave episode 30 without bringing back Coach Garv's hot take. Let's go.
Ray Lewis, Shannon Sharpe. I'm just going to keep this short and sweet and simple. Every man in this whole entire world has skeletons in their closet. Why do we constantly want to come out here and pull people's card by exploiting them on national TV, saying a bunch of bullshit about each other? Ray, that was unnecessary, especially coming from you, because you have a shitload of skeletons in your closet that is 30 times more serious than this man just getting some butt, or this man sitting here drinking a little drink on a show that belongs to him. You had possible murders on your hands. And you had the nerve to come out here and exploit this man about something that he chooses to do with himself and not hurting anybody else but himself. But yet you were in the midst of other people hurting other people. Ray, I saw you years ago when you came inside of a club. I saw your showboats. You was in there with Maurice Chestnut when you came in there. I saw what you guys were doing. You got a lot of skeletons in your closet. My suggestion is you let people live, because now you're going to bring out some of that dirty laundry that wasn't clean years ago. And be prepared for it, because it's coming. I saw Shannon's eyes. And he was like, oh, that's okay. That's okay. I'm going to be all right. I got some stuff for you. This ain't over. It's just quiet right now because he's licking his wound. He's healing right now. But when I'm telling you, we all know Unc, he's going to come back with some damn thunder once the smoke clears. Don't ever come on national TV and exploit some you don't like what this young man is doing on TV because he wasn't like that before. You didn't go to bed with this man. You don't know how he was like, even though it is yoga. It's like having my son over here know what I'm like because like he sleep next to me every 15 seconds. He doesn't. Leave this man alone. Let him live. Let him do what he do. But you got to worry about your old dirty laundry. You can't call yourself a holy and now because you supposedly found the Bible and whatever it may be. Man, you got a pass. He's got a present. Let him find his way. But you shouldn't dictate that to him to tell him how he should be and how he should follow when you didn't long time ago. And that's my first take on that. I'm sorry, not first take. That is my hot take.
Coach Garv's hot take, which you can catch every week here in the Rewind. I'll give my quick thoughts on this. Of course, Ray Lewis coming out on the podcast. Patrick Bet David's podcast. Shannon Sharpe was one of the topics brought up. Ray talked about how their days in Baltimore, Shannon never used to drink, never thought about drinking alcohol because of Shannon's family history, didn't want to go down that path. If you didn't know, Shannon Sharpe has his own alcohol, Shea by Laportier, which you guys can go out and purchase a bottle or two, whatever. He promotes it on his platforms, both Nightcap as well as what is his other Shea. Sorry. And the timing of it, in my opinion, is pretty much how anybody timing is. When someone's down and out and getting getting their back kicked in, people will come out of nowhere and continue to get their 2 cents in, get their quick licks. Because right now, Shannon Sharpe is going downwards. Of course, after his allegations and the settlement and ESPN firing him and him losing that seat on First Take, Shannon Sharpe has to revamp some things, change some things up. I believe that, again, we're talking about Shannon Sharpe, who, when Ray Lewis was coming on Undisputed, when Shannon was on Fox, Shannon was publicly backing Ray Lewis and not hurting Ray Lewis, which he could have easily took on a national platform. Shannon didn't do that. So Shannon coming out on his podcast Nightcap, which comes out I think 3 days a week or whatever, he basically said everybody wants to get a lick now because your boy was doing good. A lot of people didn't have a whole lot to say, but now that things have changed, everyone wants to kind of put their 2 cents in. And I'm sure it's nothing bad to follow. I mean, right now, Shannon is recovering something that happened and took place in the public limelight, and everyone knows about it. And he has been hurt in more ways than none, I'm sure, especially with a private settlement. But at the end of the day, there were 2 teammates. Yes, Ray doesn't like the way Shannon went. Who cares? As your former teammate, you guys won a Super Bowl together. Great. But at the end of the day, to sit there and take another shot at him while he's going through what he's going through, despite you guys may not getting along or seeing eye to eye, why not take the approach of how can I help him recover from this? Or how can I help him learn from this? I am my brother's keeper, right? Doesn't that exist? I mean, you guys shed the locker room together, practice field, OTAs, Super Bowl champs together. I mean, yeah, some things might have happened privately, but to take a stance like that, I feel like it's low-hanging fruit, if you ask me. It's easy to take a shot at Shannon now because he's in the public limelight. He's being talked about. But Shannon.
Murder.
I'm not going to go down what happened in 2001 in Atlanta. I mean, it's out there for the world to see. So Bryant's right. But, move on, move forward. And we'll see what happens. Club Shay Shay and Nightcat will be fine. Ray Lewis will, I'm sure, be fine. And again, this is just nonsense for the public to talk about. And then for people to sit out there and to take a stance and allow – everyone's going to have an opinion on what happened in the Shannon Sharpe case. Everyone. Good or bad. Was it the right decision? No. Do people do this on a daily? Yes. Does it ever get to the limelight? No. But things happen. It's everyday life. So we'll move forward with this, and Shannon Sharpe and Ray Lewis will be fine. Bryant, closing remarks as we close out episode 30 episodes. Before we go into preparing for next week, which will be another good episode, which will be a recap of not also week 2 of NCAA football, but week 1 in the books for NFL football this Sunday. Fantasy football will officially be in the works. Closing remarks, brother.
My closing remarks is this, and I'm going to end on a negative note, which is I have to, because I can't believe how bad the media sucks because Caitlin Clark is injured. Look at this. Haven't said, done anything about the WNBA. It's crashed. When football came around, they did like this. Boom! Haven't heard anything about Caitlin Clark. Haven't heard a little bit, just a tiny little bit about Paige Beckers. Aja, a little bit. Terrible. Horrible coverage. They should be ashamed of themselves. It's disgusting. And I just don't like it. It's just a terrible thing. Watch what happens when she come back. It's going to be like a freaking DDT. Boom! Oh, Caitlin's back. Woo! The world's getting ready to just lift off. That's better than the NFL and college football.
WNBA playoffs are around the corner. Indiana Fever currently sit in 8th in the league. 21-20 is their record. They're on a 2-game losing streak, 4-6 in the last 10. Fever are struggling. Aaliyah Boston is still balling, and we shall see. If you haven't, please like, subscribe to our YouTube channel at @TheRewind_GSC3, as well as follow us on all of our platforms at @TheRewind_GSC3. We are debuting our YouTube Live next week, episode 31. You'll be able to have the opportunity to watch us on YouTube Live as we will continue to grow our socials as well as grow our YouTube channel. Just cracked over 200 subscribers. Took us 9 months, but all grace to the good Lord. Small wins matter, folks. Small wins. Remember that. Celebrate small wins. And can't wait to give it to you. Brian Garv, Monty Moss, want to give a special thanks to our producer, the person behind the scenes, an Ohio State Buckeye, and also a Dallas Cowboy. So look forward to seeing them lose tomorrow night. Chris in 1990 Studios, thank you for the work they do on a week in and week out basis. He is the brains. Our graphic designer, Pat, who does all of our stuff, both globally and behind the scenes graphically for all our social platforms. This is a great episode. Thank you for supporting us on this Rewind journey. Fall season's coming. That means merch is coming. I'm doing the best that I can. This stuff ain't easy now. But again, small wins matter. So we'll see what happens. Brian Garvin, Monty Moss signing off. Episode 30 coming out on all platforms. You'll be able to check it out. Apple Podcasts, your audio folks. Brian, I love you. Chris, I love you. But go Blue.
Temple U, baby. Temple.
Oh, shout out to Temple. 1-0 Casey Keeler. 1-0 victory on the road against UMass.
No doubt.
At home this Saturday against Howard. Oh, man. All hell about to break loose.
Hey, look. But the real season starts after that game. Let's go.
Let's go!
I was checking checking out the scouting report, and I don't see nothing but bums. You and your whole entire world know that I am the one. You and your squad ain't got nothing for me. Your organization is looking stressed, and now that you haters is running from me, I know that you see that I'm highly blessed.
Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Yeah, we live with your boy Coach G. Yeah, we live with your boy Monty.
You and your squad ain't got nothing for me. Your organization is looking stressed, and now that you haters is running from me,